Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. It's Beer 30. Let's go take a walk, see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. This ought to be a nice little treat. This is Great Lakes Ohio City Oatmeal Stout. And this is not a big stout. This is something you could have several of, or even have out at a bar or a brew pub and not be super inebriated after having one, maybe even two of these. This is only a 5.4%er. I am so glad that Great Lakes is finally here in Virginia. They make some really tasty beers, guys. I don't think I've had a bad beer from them. They make some really tasty ones, and when I was out at the Barrel Chest the other day, I noticed that they had their typical ones, Commodore Perry and Edmund Fitzgerald, and some of their regular lineup beers, and which I've already reviewed. And they had this one here. It had the white horse and the old carriage style guy on our buggy with the guy on the snow, and very colorful label, very holiday-ish, if you will, for this time of year, December. It said Ohio City Oatmeal Stout, and they have their date printed on here. For freshness, please enjoy by January 24 of 2016. Well, that being said, I would think they would probably give this at least a 3-month shelf life. And so we're here in just past the first week of December. I'm reviewing this on the 6th or 7th of December, and they're saying having it by January 24. I would think December, November. This probably came out in November, either October or the very 1st of November. So shouldn't be quite that old. I don't know what Great Lakes gives their beers as far as shelf life, but and you guys, I tell you this all the time. I would much rather see a bottled on date instead of an enjoy by date. But these guys do the enjoy by date, so you don't know how long it's been setting. But with the holiday or the Christmassy label on the front with the snow and the guy with the horse and the carriage buggy there, it's definitely a wintertime beer. So hopefully it's not too old. I have no way of knowing exactly when it was put in the bottle. They want you to have it by January, and we're in December. I would think it's a November's beer for release, so not sure. But 5.4%, so if you see this beer, I would definitely pick it up and give it a try before the 24th. You're going to get more chocolatey coffee, roasted malt notes on a lower ABV beer like this. Even though it's probably going to keep for 6 months, 8 months, even a year, you can look at the label all the time. So when you get that snow, it's not something you want to have in July or August. The beer is going to be a little older. It's not saying it's going to be bad, but it's not going to have that upfront taste that you're going to get when you can have it fresh. So if you have it, you ought to drink it before January. It's 2016. And if you don't, go run and pick it up and give it a shot. That's what I'm getting ready to do right now. All right, guys. Don't have... Yeah, I do too. IBUs, it says here, are 25 on this particular beer, which is about right for an oatmeal stout. You don't want a big hot bitterness on an oatmeal stout, so it should be a little bit on the sweeter side. We're about to find out, like I said. Over to the food pairings. This particular beer, food pairings, chooses an earthy Camembert Fontina, and since it is a stout, it goes well with your chocolate dishes. You could have this as a dessert after dinner, or with your stronger dishes. Says here the meat is shellfish and smoked meat. Glass versus pint, Becker, Nolic, tumbler, mug, Stein, Seidel. Yep, you guessed it. I'm going to have with my favorite glass here, the Saban beer glass. I love this glass here. It's so heavy, so thick-walled, very nice glass. It's not a cheap glass, it's an expensive glass, but it will last you forever. Don't put it in the dishwasher. I have heard a lot of people with these thin wall glasses. This one probably would hold up in the dishwasher, but I don't put any of my glasses in the dishwasher, guys. None of them. Absolutely zero of them. The ones that I do my go-to beers in, the pint glasses, every glass that I have here that I drink beer out of never sees the dishwasher. They're all hand washed. That way you know, unless you drop it or something like that, catastrophic happens, you're not going to get it. It's not going to crack or break or chip or do anything, that crazy stuff, if you hand wash your glasses. And I do. I hand wash everything that I drink beer out of is hand washed. They never see the dishwasher. Just my 2 cents. Alright, let's get on with this one, guys. Not recommended for extended cellaring on this beer because it's a low ABV beer. If it had been an 8, 9, 10%er, this beer would probably keep 5, 10, maybe even 15 years. But it's a 5.4%er. It's a seasonal beer, and they want you to have it during November, December, January, during the cold winter months. So that's the way it is on these low ABV beers. So let's do this one right now. Alright, nothing else we need to talk about. Don't cellar this beer. Let's get the cap off. And like I said earlier, guys, I got some openers here. If you need one, now's the time to let me know, so I can get it to you by Christmas, and you can give it to whoever you choose to give it to. Your other half, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, yourself. Alright. That pour gives us about 1.5 fingers of head. Nice off-white khaki colored head. Very tight bubbles. There are a few bigger bubbles from that aggressive pour. Very creamy looking on top. Over into the light, I am not getting any through the big part here, the big bulb part of the glass, but down in the thin part here, I am getting a little bit of red ruby tinges around the bottom of the glass and around the outside. So it is not pitch black. There are some light that's coming through the thin part of the glass here. So whatever particular glass you choose to drink it in, you may get some red ruby tinges or notes around the thin part here, but through the thick bulb part here, it's pretty dark. Let's get a nose on this one. Oh yes, rich roasted malt. Hints of toffee and caramel and maybe a little bit of brown sugar. Nice sweetness to it. I am getting the coffee though. The coffee is coming through pretty strong. Maybe just a little bit of Baker's bittersweet chocolate in there. The coffee notes are a little stronger than the chocolate though. Nice sweetness on the back end of this beer. I don't think it's brewed with lactose. Rich roasted malt. Almost to the burnt characteristics. Very nice smelling beer. For a low ABV beer, smells pretty impressive. Well, let's get it on. Cheers everybody. Down to about 1/2 finger of head on the lacing and the head on this one. Very nice sessionable oatmeal stout. Getting a nice creaminess from the oatmeal. Very easy drinking. 5.4%. This is, like I said, this is something you could drink 1, 2, maybe even 3 of these and not be too inebriated. But just be careful if you're drinking multiple beers out. I mean, it doesn't matter. If you're drinking 3 Budweisers out and you go through a license check, 3 5%ers, that's enough to get you in trouble. It is. Be careful this holiday season. A DUI is not what you want for Christmas. Trust me. Trust me, you do not want to see that flashlight in your window with a little sniffer on the end of it that tells you've been drinking alcohol. You do not want to see that. You do not want to have that. You do not want to go there. Trust me. For a low ABV stout, oatmeal stout, this is pretty tasty. Very sessionable. Very nice. Very easy. Did I say easy drinking? I think I did. Very easy drinking stout. Not a 8, 9, 10% or even bigger beer where one of them is going to put you face down in the dirt, whether you realize it or not. Oh, I'm okay. I ain't had but 2. Yeah, but they were 10%ers. You're going to get in trouble if you go through a road check. Drink at home if you can. That's what I do. That's why I'm here. There's no Johnny Law here. No flashlights in my eyes. Drink at home is the safest way. When I was a young fella, I used to go out to the bars and drink massive quantities of beer and just got damn lucky that I never got a DUI. So those days of drinking and driving are over, guys. They are. Trust me. As much as I'd like to go to a bar and the atmosphere and hoop it up and holler and have a great time, just be careful. Just be careful. It's just not, they just don't tolerate that anymore. Back in the old days when I was a young fella, a lot of times, you know, you get lucky. They let you go. They follow you home. Or back when my dad, back in the 60s, before I started drinking, they'd even take you home or follow you home, make sure you got home. But nowadays, there's zero tolerance. I mean, if you've had, and nowadays, you don't even have to be drunk. I mean, in Virginia, it's .08 when you blow in the meter. If you blow an 05 or an 06, they'll write you up for impaired driving. So the days of drinking and driving are over. That's why I do most of my drinking here at the house. It's the safest way. That way I get to share it with all of you guys. All right, let's let this warm up a little bit. Let her have a sip 2 or 3, and I'll come back and see where this one ends up. Pretty tasty right now. I'll be right back. Hi guys, I'm back. Been sipping on this probably about 45 minutes or so. It's up to room temperature now. Rich roasted caramel toffee malt smell. And the malt is almost to the burnt characteristics. Very, very pleasant smelling. Coffee, bittersweet chocolate. Maybe just a slight hint of some dark fruit in there. The coffee is more pronounced than the chocolate and the dark fruit. Very nice, sessionable oatmeal stout. Nice creamy mouthfeel from the oatmeal. Very easy drinking. Alcohol basically is non-existent as far as the tasting. Very sessionable oatmeal stout. Final chug. Very pleasant. Very well made beer. A nice low ABV oatmeal stout. A lot of the brewers like to brew these massive ABV beers, 8, 9, 10, even bigger stouts. And those will get you in trouble quicker, get you in the hammer lane very fast. But this is a nice lower ABV, 5.4%, not even 5.5. Very enjoyable. One you could have 1, 2, even 3 of these at a time if you so choose. and not be super inebriated, not like drinking 3 10%ers. Very nice. I enjoyed this one. Great Lakes does some really tasty stuff. They really, really do. And like I said earlier, I am so glad that I can finally get their beers here in Virginia. Very tasty. All right, you guys that can get Great Lakes beers, they're getting further and further out from where they're brewed at, up in Ohio, actually Cleveland area. Very nice. Anything that you see that's got a Great Lakes label on it is usually going to be pretty impressive. They don't do a bad beer as far as I'm concerned. Would rather see a bottled on date instead of an enjoyed by date, but it is what it is. The brewers like doing that to give it a little bit longer shelf life. And I can understand that, but I'd rather see the bottled on date and let me make that decision. That it tells me how old the beer is when I see that on the label. When I see the enjoyed by date, I have no idea of knowing how long it's been in the bottle, because they're giving it a 3-month, 4-month, 5-month, even 6-month shelf life, as some of them do. So I'd rather know when it was put in the bottle rather than when they think I should have it by. It's just my opinion now, guys. I think this is an A beer. It's very tasty, very enjoyable for a low ABV oatmeal stout. Very well made. I do think it's an A beer, guys. I would probably give this an 8 out of 10. If I was putting a numeric rating on this particular beer, it would probably be a 91 or 92, somewhere in that area. So, very tasty, very well made. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 88 in a very good range. I think that number is a tad low, just a tad. I think it's in the 90s. I do think it's an A beer, guys. I really do. And over to Rate Beer says overall 92 and 88 in the style. So I'm more in line with what Rate Beer's got here rather than Beer Advocate. That's about where I would put it, 91 or a 92, somewhere in that area. I do think it's a very well made beer, a nice sessionable oatmeal stout, if you will. Very nice one to have with your dinner if you're having a strong dish, or even after dinner if you're wanting a lower ABV beer to have. It's not something that's 8, 9, 10%er that you're going to catch a significant buzz having it. And it does go well with your chocolate dishes. This would be a great one to have with a nice chocolate dish, brownie or chocolate cake or something like that. It's not going to be too boozy or too overpowering for what you're having. So, with that being said, if you've had some Great Lakes, they're Ohio City Oatmeal Stout. Let me know what you think. I enjoyed this one. Very nice. Very nice. Let me know what you think if you've had it. And come on back tomorrow. Let's go see what's in the fridge. Yeah. See you then.